Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, members. My name is Ware Wendell. I'm testifying on behalf of myself and Texas Watch. Texas Watch is a nonpartisan citizen advocacy group that works on a range of safety issues in strong support of this legislation. First of all, thank you to the legislature for establishing the registry last session. It's very important. Back in 1978, the DOD issued guidelines saying that these burn pits were to be temporary measures on our operating bases. And instead, many of our fighting men and women overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan have suffered toxic exposure from waste being piled into these open pits, set ablaze with diesel and jet fuel. It could be unexploded munitions, paint, styrofoam, mattresses, helicopter blades stamped "do not burn." I mean, everything that you can imagine. So our fighting men and women are suffering. VA estimates are as many as 3.5 million soldiers may be exposed to these toxins. Here in Texas, we have the second largest population of veterans in the country, 1.6 million. And these are really the toxic wounds of war. Burn Pits 360 is the leading organization on this issue. We are so happy to support them. And it's also been referred to as the Agent Orange for this generation of warfighters. There are holes in the federal registry. It does not track decline in health, and family members are not able to update mortality. And that's why it's so important that we have a state registry. Texas is among one of the first states to establish a registry. This is important for coordination of care, coordination of VA benefits. Texas is a leader in terms of taking care of our veterans. This is an optional funding source. As a Second Amendment supporter myself, I would like to think that my fellow gun owners would elect to contribute to this fund. It's optional. It does not raise taxes, but we should support our war fighters, and we ask for your favorable consideration. I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Members, any questions? Let the record reflect that Representative Tinderholt's here and he has a question.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm well, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm pulling up real quick. I hurried down here for this bill specifically, so bear with me while I pull up the House witness list. Can you tell me who you are and who you're with real quick?
Yes, sir. My name is Ware Wendell. I'm the Executive Director of Texas Watch. We advocate on safety issues. We're a nonpartisan group. Okay. I'm also testifying on behalf of myself.
So here's my concern. I was in the military for 21 years, and I was around these burn pits, and I agree that the burn pit registry is important, but I have two concerns. One is having two registries. I don't know that there's enough value in having two separate registries and you're having two groups of people collect the same data. My other concern is, let's say they get $1 million or $10 million in there. One person that has issues with this would potentially take a pretty good chunk of change, right, to try to rectify or make it right for that person. At what point does that fund run out of money so that they can't help the other 800 people that see the floodgates open?
So, two things. First of all, there are problems with the federal registry. Only about 200,000 veterans have registered thus far. And again, the exposure may be as many as 3.5 million. There are gaps in terms of you not being able to update decline in health, and then family members cannot indicate if they've lost a family member due to the burn pit exposure. So that's why the state registries can be a backstop. My understanding from the registry is this is not awarding compensation to anyone. This is more about publicizing it to our veteran community and then coordinating the symptoms that they then register in the burn pit, and it will help to coordinate care through the VA.
Do you know what the money's
have
for?
These holes.
So if the people with gun owners are going to donate money, what does that money go to? Is it going to be operating expenses? What is it?
Yes, sir. That's my understanding, that it would go to actually standing up the registry. We supported the burn pits registry last session. The problem is it didn't have dedicated funding. So while it's on the books, it's on the laws, and we appreciate your support last session very much, Representative Tinderholt. It can't operate right now. And so this is just an optional funding source. As I look at the Venn diagrams, I think all of us who are 2A supporters would want to support our veterans. I know I would gladly give $5 or $10 or $20 to help to stand up this registry.
So is it fair to say, I may have been mistaken then, it's not two separate programs, it's a registry that's going to help people get better registered into the federal program versus a program that holds a whole bunch of money and tries to fund giving people money that have damages?
That's correct, sir. And really, the Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court in 2019 ruled against our veterans here with their legal claims. So they're out of options right now in terms of compensation. All that they have is the VA. And so if we can step up here in Texas and help to organize this information better, which is all that the registry does, now those veterans can go to the VA and say, I was deployed here. I've suffered these symptoms. It's tracked in this way. And we don't raise any taxes for doing this. It's just volunteer contributions to help our veterans.
I'm in a totally different place, and I'm glad I got down here to ask that question, because I thought the way I read it was that it was two totally separate registries and we were going to try to fund something. So.
And this is about, as I understand it, sir, it's about publicizing this to our veteran community and then making sure that DISHES has the resources to actually follow through on what you voted for last session.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Members, any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ware Wendell again, testifying for myself and on behalf of Texas Watch in support of the legislation. I'll simply say our veterans took care of us, and now it's our chance to take care of them. Great bill. Happy to take any questions.
Members, any questions?